a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up? And welcome in here to Pregaming at Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know what we do out here. We're putting our heads together. We're trying to compare all of our best bets, line movement, angles, trends, analysis, injury updates, cash flow splits, all the rest to help us get winning tickets. That's what we're here to do tonight. And we got some graphic issues today, so bear with me. In fact, really, there's nothing to bear with here. This is what you're going to see. So I don't know what's going on. Canva has, they haven't shut down. They let me go through and update 12 slides. And then I went to download those 12 slides, and it's telling me I can't get there. So we will make the best with what we've got. That's what we do here at Sports Money. And hey, talk about making the best of what we got last night. So we ended up 0.8 units up, right? We ended up there. Let's see if we can, let me see if I can try this at least. Let me see if I can do something a little different here. Let's see if we can do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. There we go. Maybe you can see it. Maybe you can't, but hopefully you can. And so we're going to take a look at yesterday. I told you guys before, we are rolling on BetStamp. Best way to check the action if you're not sure about plays that we're involved with or anything else that's going on. The fellas have been loading up, trying to get everybody to start tracking in a uniform fashion, just so we can kind of balance out all these numbers. Everybody right now has a winning record across the Sports Money crew. It's phenomenal. We're up units across the board. It's been glorious. Now, granted, I just started tracking the other day. I started last Tuesday, so I'll have a week in me. We'll flip this to the second. Let's see if this works. Again, we were absent any kind of graphics program today, so put all that work in. Now we're here. Now we're done. But let's go through it real fast. Yesterday's results. Hopefully you can see these over here on the right-hand side. The New Jersey Devils, that was that late ad that smashed for us. Sadly, now we ended up 0.88 units up on the day. But, geez, man, look at this. Under 132.5 in this Air Force and Miami, Ohio game. They get the 133. You know, it makes me mad. I'm not happy about it. We'll talk about it in a second. But then here's our parlay. Here's the way our player prop parlay went down. Rui got the 10. He didn't get the 12.5. And Dougie Hamilton got 2 shots on goal, not 3. Everybody else smashed. Voos again gets it done. That guy is the auto train right now. The first period under 1.5 was a nice plus 110 banger out there for us in that Blackhawks and Toronto Maple Leafs game. That came through for us, 1-0 final. We cashed the under 220 in that Lakers-Minnesota Timberwolves game. Never even close. 189 on that thing. And then we lost the Brooklyn Nets. First half. They lost by 6, so we lost by 1.5. We were that close. That's why I say these grinds, man. These grinds. We were that close between a half a point at that Air Force college basketball game and 1.5 on the first half of the Nets from being, over a 3-unit day overall. So positive units is fine. We just missed out here on this under 47.5 in the teaser with Denver. Remember, we talked about that Denver game. Now, Denver in the favorite role, going to be 7-0 right now. 7-0. Denver in that favorite role made an absolute ton of sense. Just looking back on it for the Cleveland backers, that was a huge win that they had with Jameis Winston. He's still Jameis Winston. Come on, we talk about this all the time. Never seen the zebra change its stripes. Jameis Winston might have had LASIK eye surgery and be able to see straight, but he's still Jameis Winston. He still crumbles when the stakes get high in that fourth quarter. There was some great live betting going on. And then last but not least, we easily cashed that Dallas under 6.5 to get us 0.81 units of profit on the day. 0.81 units. So what's nice about BetStamp is some of you guys have asked about, how do you track these things? How do you play these things? I told you, anything that goes over 1,000, anything that's over plus 1,000, I use the 2 win a unit amount. For this standard example, we're using the $100 unit of measure. So these big plus 32.69s, look, they're $3 investments to win $100. If you're a $200 bettor, you put $6 on it. If you're a $300 bettor, you put $9 on it. The goal is to grow our bankrolls without exposing ourselves to the ebbs and flows that can really get us down. And then you're redepositing and you're not withdrawing. And obviously that's the example. That's where we want to be, is in the city of withdrawals when it comes to this stuff. So that is BetStamp. You can find me at Mikey Money at BetStamp. It's a free app for you guys to go out there and check out. We'll be loading our action in there, and probably a learning curve as we figure this whole thing out. But I load my action in before the show starts, just to keep it clean, just to be consistent with the best number that I loaded in there. We'll talk about the numbers that are out there for you guys. But that was a little example. A little on the fly BetStampery. How about that? How about that? Shout out to, the whole crew here. Joe T had a big night last night. Gonzo had a big day yesterday, got himself over the hump. Easy New Jersey Devils winner and profitable capper. And, of course, Subhuman Gaucho with the Sub Club today. We pretty much got you guys covered for all sports, all day, 24/7. We start off with Ramon Scott and the Morning Steam. Right off the hop. Hey. We start off with Ramon Scott right off the hop. He's giving you guys tennis plays, European basketball plays, European soccer plays. You name it, you get it with the Morning Steam. Then we get in there and fire off action throughout the day for everybody. Action throughout the day. You get a chance to see, maybe it's sub club soccer action. Maybe it's some Euro basketball action, I guess. I don't know. But nonetheless, that's out there. Then we get to Pregaming here, and we give you guys that late night card, and the fellas are layering in on there as well with the community tab. So make sure you do take the time. If you haven't already, get familiar with that community tab. There's got to be 8 plays just sitting out there today if you haven't already seen them. And I know Sub already cashed with Crystal Palace at plus a quarter on an Asian line in EPL soccer. He's up over 10 units on the year. Joe T's up over 11 units on the year, and Gonzo's up a unit. He just started going a week ago. Yeah, you best believe. You best believe. Bring the right crew in, get the right people on the bus, get them in the right seats, and that's how we get cashing. So let's get to work, you guys. We got a big, busy night ahead of us. I've got 10 plays out there for us tonight, so we got to get moving. You guys know the deal. Now is the most important time. We need you to hit that thumbs up button. Super duper critical. Helps us to get on that YouTube map, and then YouTube promotes us. Then as it promotes us, new cappers find us. They come in here and they share their best bets, and we continue to grow the community exponentially, all with winning money on a regular basis. So if you haven't done so, hit that comments button, close it out. You'll see that little thumbs up. Pop it open, hit the comments back open, and we'll get to work. All right. I'm going to try something here. Let me just try something here because it did something finally spit through here. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right, we got one. We'll take one. See, naked over there on the stream. So you'll see what we're going to get into here tonight. We've got props, 2-player props in the NBA for you guys. We've got 3 NHL games. We've got 3 NBA games. And we've got 2 college basketball games to pop off this 10-play slate tonight. And some good money to be made on it. I'll tell you, funny little story last night. I got into the first goal scoring situation. There's only a couple games, so I wanted to play around. Took 3 players. The first player, Jesper Bratt, scores 12-1. Parlay, by the way. Second player, Austin Matthews, scores. Man, I was rupee hints away from a monster payday. So I tried again. I went again tonight. Matter of fact, I'll share it with you guys. We're all over the place here because the graphics were down and it got me down. me share with you guys just a little sprinkler here. This is just a little fun money action for you guys. Three-player first goal scorers out there. I was going to post it in the community tab. Maybe I still will. We'll see what the showtime ends up at here. I know we've got a lot to get into. Man, everything's just slow here today with the internet. We'll leave that over there. We'll put a pin in that and we'll come back to it. But man, it wasn't a huge investment, but it was a huge return. And it's very much the same thing again tonight. I think just a couple dollars pays a couple thousand. So let's see. In fact, I'll tell it to you. Right now, first goal scorers: Seth Jarvis, David Pastrnak, and Leon Draisaitl. Seth Jarvis, David Pastrnak, Leon Draisaitl. It's just 1,325 to 1. That's all it is. Just 1,325 to 1 parlay for some fun. To kick the show off here. Look at those are, just like everything else. I'm not trying to break the bank with these things here. Not throwing $500. Oh, Jesus. If I throw $500 down on that, it was an absolute accident. Now, if it won, you couldn't even throw $500 down on it because FanDuel or DraftKings won't let you clean them out for more than $250K on any particular play. Yes, I know. I know that for a fact. So let's get to work, you guys. Now's the deal. Get that pen and paper out. Lots to take down in notes, lots of updates, lots of plays from our chat, our community here that we continue to build on a daily basis. And of course, share your best bets in the chat so we can get to work. If you're curious about a last goal scorer, yeah, I got one of those too. It's Jarvis, Pastrnak, Draisaitl, and Mark Scheffele to get the last goal scorer. That one's even bigger. I like to play around with some of those things. I don't mind tossing a couple bucks at them. Just to, the gold cup of coffee money to see if you can cash. But here's a casher. It's Joe T, and he's bringing in another over for us. He's got an assault on the unders in play, and he's been doing nothing but cashing with them out there. Over 11 units. Incidentally, Joe T, while we're talking about this stuff here, there's so much to write. I got to start getting a list. Things to write down. How about this? We do post. Joe T posts on all the primetime games for everybody to vote. And YouTube, this is the benefit of YouTube pushing us around the community. We're getting somewhere between 150 and 200 votes in some of these polls. I think one of them we had over 350. And I think one of them we might have even had 500 now that I look at it. So nonetheless, my point is this. The primetime football polls from the site. This is where I talk about the sharpest goddamn chat in the business. It's here. 21, 7, and 2. Based on picking the spread winner for these primetime games. You guys have done a tremendous job. Last night was an easy casher with the Broncos -6. So when you're looking for some plays, don't be afraid to pop into that community tab and see what everybody voted on. It is the sharpest chat in the business. And shout out to Joe T for spearheading that through the community tab. And he's giving you guys his action here. I know he's got more action over there on the community tab. The Blue Jackets and the Flames. He's going over 6.5 out there. We will talk about that game. Shout out to NJ Striker, Nicholas Handy, Nuki's in the house, my dude. Winner Circle says he's got a little Franz Wagner over 31.5 points and assist. That's my dude Gonzo. I told you guys, check him out at Outlaw Capper on X. He's been firing for us, and he's got a nice little database that he built this season. He's fine-tuning, and he's been live for a week on it. Getting rolling, man. Just getting started. Jay Main's in the house. Who's says Dougie Hamilton scored first. I know, man. I know. It's funny. I was laughing because I said, if Dougie Hamilton scores, but he doesn't get the 2.5 shots. Like, come on, dude. And then he was getting assists, so he wasn't shooting. Philly Eagle Flyer. Justin McKelvey says sports money is money. There's the Irish King. Two Tones. We got a new member in Two Tones in the house. Welcome in to this fast-growing community, Two Tones. Built on winning. We got a foundation of W's, and we're going to keep it going out there. Juggler 23 is giving us some trends here. NBA trend. NBA road favorites winning 36% of their games or less are an impressive 69 and 25. Straight up. 60 and 33 against the spread. There's that magic number north of 60%. 64.5% on the Sixers tonight, -4. I think that number looks pretty damn good. Let's go. Keith's on the board as well. He's got Karl Anthony Towns over 23.5 points for the Knicks game tonight. Go get him, my guy. Go get those points. Redbeard, he's got the Clippers and the under at +130. Unfortunately for me, Redbeard, they're right over there. But I do like that under a lot. I like it a lot. Shout out to Juggler 23. 1-1. So still 15-3 his last 18. Hey, man. Can't all be bangers. Shit. 15-3 is plenty fine for me, my friend. And tonight he's got the Bucks under 113.5 team total for 4 units. That's the best part about it. 15-3. But he's been dropping 3 and 4 unit bangers out there. So think about that. Think about how many units my friend Juggler23 is up as he's been cranking it out here for us, leading the charge with strong, efficient capping. Shout out to Robert McCormick. Appreciate you guys out there, man. Nuki says it, so hit the like, everybody. Please do just that. Irish King says yesterday was money in the NBA and hockey. It sure was. Gonzo. He's taking the Caps puck line. He's got the Islanders money line. He's got the Panthers -1, and he's got leans for you guys. He likes the Sabres and Vancouver. I lean to that Sabres first period. Sabres first period spot out there. RVD 420. Look at you, my guy. AKA Pip Slap himself with that look for tonight. Let's go. Dana Delp in the house. Irish King likes Colorado -1.5. There's JP's. He says, what's up, motherfuckers? Let's go. Andrew G. says, sharp. Let's go. Appreciate you guys, man. Hugh Janus is back in the house with us. He's rolling. I had to take him out of banned him out there. I don't know how he got banned, but we got him back. Hugh Janus is here. Welcome back, Hugh Janus. Cincinnati -3. Clemson money line, and Ole Miss says, let's get him, Pimp. And Boost. Cameron says, V-Man 3s and Browns kicker points was good money. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Let's get it. Jay Main. I like the New York game under. Got it at 215.5, the average score. 197.2 the last 12. Look at this. Look at this great insight you guys are bringing in as we get rolling out there. Gerald Jones. Been heavy NFL. 5 weeks to contest money on the line. Let's go. Joe W's in the house. Irish King likes the LSU -4.5. Easy. I think that's a great look, too. That was a first cut for me, Irish King. That one in that Syracuse game, first cut for me was the under. So we'll see what happens. I feel like I gave you guys out some leans last night that shit the bed. But that's why they're leans. Look, efficiency in the cutting. I mean, I don't want to give you guys losers, but damn. Winners were okay. The leans were not okay yesterday. And then Jay Stone's got a best bet goal parlay. Monahan, Aho, and McKinnon at +1776. Yeah, I love that stuff, man. Throw a 10 spot on that there. You know, you can get yourself in the game, have a little fun with something to root for, and then go after your big bets. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Pick it up and I'm putting down. Maybe throw $100 on it. You try to win that big 1776. I always think north of the +1,000 should be the opportunity for you to win whatever your unit size is. Whatever it is. We know TransCanada operates with a small unit. I just saw you there, TransCanada. I had to zip you, motherfucker. Blowing me up on Twitter professionally is what he's doing out there. And I almost responded today. I almost said, hey, don't tell me you didn't cash on them boys in the last 7 days. I saw your tweet out there. Not able to fill the stadium. Come on. It's football and basketball season. You know how it works down there. Come on. But I know they got a big game coming up with them Winnipeg Jets. But let's go, you guys. As I was saying there with those 1776s, just a different way to think about it, right? Just like if you're parlaying together the 2+ touchdowns across the board, you know, a couple bucks is going to be a huge payout. But we all know the more legs in the parlay, the less likely you are to hit those things. It's common sense. Now, if you take like last night with that 4 legs that hit on the 6, if you round robin those like I suggested for a couple of bucks, you were profitable. 4 of 6 and round robins hits and pays the bills. So anyways, look, Jay Stone. So throw 45, a quarter, was that just under a half a unit on it. There you go. There you go. Just being mindful. You know, you can still benefit from the risk and reward. Just don't crush your bankroll in the process for obviously some of those longer shot bets. I know a lot of you guys will ask, like, how do you bet this or how do you do that? And, you know, not to get too far in the weeds, but certainly some ways to manage it. If you look at BetStamp, you can see, you know, with regards to the unit of tracking being $100, you know, we'll benchmark everything at $100. And then when it comes to those big parlays, yeah, they're to win $100. So you can see visually if some of you guys, you know, there's 3 types of learners, right? There's the audio, they got to hear it. There's the visual, they got to see it. And then there's the kinesthetic, they got to touch it. So hopefully we can help you guys hit on 2 of the 3 learning types, if you will, as you look at BetStamp and move forward. So let's go. Let's get to work. What do we got? This is all fucked up. I had to go with a different approach here for these games because I didn't think I was going to have the graphics. So, yeah, appreciate you guys bearing with me. Let's just pop it off. Let's get right to it here. No player prop parlays today, but these are full unit trackers for me because we're under the plus 1,000 mark. I went to Scotty Barnes. The guy's been firing. He's getting over 32 minutes a game in his last 5. He's got 10 or more rebounds in his last 4 games. Now, you might be sitting there saying, Mike, his double-double. Well, his double-double line's like minus 105, minus 110s. But 8.5 rebounds was plus money. That's why. So we know this guy's been out there as a fucking rebounding machine. And, you know, the Pacers, they do allow 119 points a game. The Raptors allow 117. So it should be high scoring. There should be a lot of baskets being chucked around out there. And Barnes, probably the best rebounder on the floor in entirety between both those two teams. He's also got a triple-double alert. Keep your eyes open out there. The price tag on this triple-double is super suspect. He's sitting around plus 650. Plus 650. Now, we cashed a ton of Scotty Barnes rebounding bets. I don't like that it's 8.5 at plus money, but we've made so much money on it. I'm going to keep riding it in this fact here that I wouldn't be mad at you sprinkling a little bit on that triple-double spot. The official play will be the over 8.5 rebounds at plus 112. Again, the double-double, I like that at first. And if you look back, I had to void a transaction out because I realized after comparing the odds, if he's going to get the double-double, it's probably because he got 10 rebounds. And so why pay for an extra rebound and a half and get less money, right? That's where the ROI comes into play because you're getting more bang for your buck on that ticket. So I started off with Scotty Barnes. Then I added a second spot here. I got a little Walker Kessler action. Now, I'm conflicted in this Jazz game. I'll say this. The Jazz, you know, we know they're fucking awful. They're bad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They are in an over spot. The Jazz are 36-7 to the over when they're on the road facing a team they were losing after the first quarter to the last time out if both teams are rested. So that does suggest a nice over spot in this game. I don't know. I don't want to get involved. I would take the Thunder probably in this game, and I kind of wanted to take the Thunder in the under, but I'll tell you, Walker Kessler jumped off the page for me, and really it just kind of came down to the fact that he's got double-double in each of the last 3 Jazz games. So if it's going to go over, he's probably going to be getting his points, and he's going to be out there returning and taking care of rebounds. So we're going to ride the hot hand. He went from plus 235 this morning down to plus 215 for Walker Kessler. We got to pick the spots. We got to take some swings when there's some nice plus money out there. And this guy's just been a double-double machine right now. Hell, wouldn't be mad at anybody that wanted to sprinkle a little Scotty Barnes triple-double with a little Walker Kessler triple-double. And if you were going to do that, well, you might as well add Jokic in the triple-double category because he's been on fire with those as well. So there's the prop market for us here to kick the show off, get the day moving. No graphics to change. So let's see what you guys have to say. Shout out to you, Trans, though. He says, the pimp. Let's go. Gerald Jones says, on Arkansas, continue to Miami. Redbeard likes Orlando plus 4.5. Jay Main says, more Trey parlay. Steph 6+, Mitchell 5+, and 4+, Lopez 3+, Cade Cunningham 3+, Markkanen 4+, and Wallace 3+, huh? 3-point parlays for our guy. Let's get that on the screen so you guys. Jay Peasy says he's got to smell it. It's the 4th learning type. What would you call that? The nasal learning type? You only got to smell it once to know if it's not going to work for you. Jay Main likes UT Martin and Southern Illinois. The Salutes. Jay Main likes Murray State, and he likes Pool 4+. Man, I wish I had some graphics to turn to for you guys here, but we'll figure it out. We'll get it right. I'm not sure what the hell happened out there. And then it told me I was limited. Limited? Fuck you going to limit me? I'm limited. You don't put a limit on me, baby. Let's go. NHL time. Florida Panthers going to pop this thing off for us with this Pittsburgh Penguins team. And the Penguins finding themselves running red hot. I had two choices in this game. It was Flyers. I got TransCanada on the mind with those Flyers. It was Florida Panthers in regulation or the over. I'm opting for the Panthers in regulation. Now, the challenge that I have is Spencer Knight is no, he's no Huckleberry. He's got a 2.31 goals against average with a 91.1% save percentage. But on the flip side, it's Tristan Jarry with that 4.49 goals against average and 88.1% save percentage. Now, overall, Knight is coming up shutout. And it was a big shutout against the Carolina Hurricanes team. It wasn't just a 1-0 game either. I mean, 6-0 thumping. Confidently in command from start to the entirety and finish of that game. They played a full game. And he's going to go back to the hot hand. After the shutout, they're going to ride with Spencer Knight again. That's the component that pushed me more towards the side than the total. As I mentioned, 2.31 goals against average, 91.1% save percentage. Playing better than Bobrovsky right now, in all fairness. And the Panthers are coming in on a 3-game winning streak, so they're feeling good. And you look at the other side of things, the Penguins are on a 3-game winning streak. And yet the Panthers open up as minus 170 road favorites out there. Big road chalk. But we're outside that window that I told you guys about the other day, the minus 140 to minus 160 window. It's where I'm comfortable taking the regulation spot. All in all, you look at this Penguins team and Jarry's just been struggling here. I think that they do have the better goaltender, despite it being the backup against the starter, and we're getting a reasonable price tag for the regulation play. Let me facilitate my bet stamp account here to see what we got at minus 107 for the Florida Panthers to win this game in regulation. And hey, minus ones, I get it. Like minus ones are great. It'd pay a couple more cents, right? I think it's minus 115s or so for the minus ones. But if it goes to overtime and they win by one, you push. So I get it. You're paying a couple more cents to get that push potential in there. So I get it. Makes a ton of sense for me. Shout out to Googly-Eyed UFC Ringo. Dixon for Nova, 2+ threes and 2+ assists. There's a sharp look. Jay Stone says the value is way too much to pass up on that Florida puck line. And Dana Delp likes the over. Joe T's got to play on this game in the community tab. Love to see that. Joe T firing away out there. And look, there should be goals. I think you're good with that over. Like I said, the Panthers averaging top 5 shots on net in the league. The Penguins allow the top 5 most. This should be a good spot, I think, for the Panthers to win this game. 5-1, 6-3, and 6-0 in their last 3 wins. They're scoring in abundance right now, and I think that continues. So Florida is 3 lines of empty net snipers for Jay Stone to get that minus 1.5. If they get that 3-2 lead going in the end of the game, that last 2 minutes, the goalie comes out, you cash your 4-2, and then everybody that took the unders burnt. So we don't want to see that, but good looks. Let's go. Let's keep her moving. Let's talk about Vancouver. Why not? What the hell? We're here. It's on the screen. Vancouver and the Minnesota firing red hot Wild right now, which is really amazing. It's unconfirmed, but it does look like Lankinen's going to be the guy for Vancouver. He's been phenomenal. 12-3 record on the season. 2.65 goals against average and a 90.7% save percentage with 2 shutouts. Playing well. It's important because Demko being hurt, that's a big deal. They needed to kind of find somebody in the cupboard, and it is Kevin Lankinen that has been answering the bell. On the other side, Philip Gustafsson has been answering the bell. This Minnesota Wild team, shocking to see their record right now, and he's part of the reason for this thing. 11-4-3. They have 2.17 goals against average, and he's rolling 92.9% save percentage. Jeez, with 2 shutouts himself. Probably, I don't know, I'd say he's probably number 2 or 3 overall in the NHL as a goaltending setup to start the season, which is really phenomenal given kind of how they started. I kind of thought it was a little bit less than desired here, but at the end of the day, they are playing a Vancouver team that's won 4 of their last 5. So when you look at the totals in this game and you look at, oh shit, that's what I was missing. I was like, why am I missing this from the from the dashboard. I did a big reset to try to get all those graphics to download before the show started here, and unfortunately not everything started back up. So let's get back to it here. And when you look at this Vancouver line right now, how about this? So you got big money coming in on the Minnesota Wild. You got 83% of the bets and 77% of the cash. And I know we don't typically talk about that a lot, but these are two competitively situated teams right now. When you look at overall, the Vancouver Canucks are 13-7 and the Minnesota Wild are 16-4. So it does beg to a little bit of, or it does lend to a little bit of, let's see where this cash flow is coming in. And we do have 83% of the bets and 77% of the cash coming in on the Minnesota Wild. Line hasn't moved for the Minnesota Wild. Then we look at the total. This is very similar to what we had yesterday with that Dallas game. 84, almost identical. 84% of the bets are on the over. 95% of the cash is on the over, 5.5. And guess where the juice is poured? On the under. Makes sense. Goaltending battles. Maybe a little bit of a playoff type feel to this game out there, which should be low scoring, defensive oriented. Look at the last 4 games with the Minnesota Wild. Yeah, they lost 4-1 to Winnipeg, but we know Winnipeg's an under team. They win 1-0 against Buffalo. We were on Minnesota for easy money in that game. They get under 3-2, and they pick up a win in that Chicago Blackhawks game. Okay, it was Chicago, but then they fire back, and they get another 3-2. 4 straight unders, all priced at 5.5s with the Minnesota Wild because of the strength in goaltending. Now, the challenge here is going to be, can they stop this Canucks team from scoring here? I think the Canucks probably win this game. We look at their last, they're 4-1 in their last 5, as I mentioned. 5-4 scoring, 4-3 against Buffalo scoring. They did lose 5-4. They had a shutout 2-0 against Boston, and they beat out. This is a lot of road trip for these guys. I believe this is their 5th straight road game as well. And they've been, last 2 games priced at 5.5s, but they've gone over because they're scoring. So the challenge is going to be, can Gustafsson present that kryptonite? Can we see what happens out there? Can we at least get a little bit of stoppage on that Vancouver side of things as well? And I do think we see that. So I'm going to take the under 5.5. Good old friends at BetStamp. What do they have my 5.5 at? -112 was the number I got for the under 5.5 in this game. And, all in all, fucking Lankinen. Crazy what he's got going on right now. Just set the record. How about this? This is where I think they're in trouble with this hot hand. Lankinen just set the record for most away wins in a row to start a season. 10 straight road wins. He's shut everybody down on the road. And one of the best under teams at home is the Minnesota Wild. So defensive-oriented teams. Take that under 5.5. Probably a 3-2 game, maybe a 3-1 game with an empty netter that slides in there as well. But look for live bets. Look, the Wild, second most profitable team to the under at home this year, 7-2-1 to the under as well. You got to take advantage of this under. It's 5.5 for a reason. And all that money pouring in on the over, and it's juicing to the under. How about that? Shout out to Nasty Nate's talking shit. Everybody's favorite. Everybody's favorite after your boys lose, coming in there and rubbing their face and shit. We were on it, though, Nasty Nate. We were on them boys there. It didn't look good at halftime. I remember sending a note to Jay Peasy. He said there's a lot of game left. Let's see what Irish King says. Ringo plus Crosby, 2-piece anytime goal parlay for that game. Irish King likes Vancouver money line. I think I'm going to probably circle back and hit Vancouver money line. I got 10 plays. That's my sweet spot, though. That's why you guys notice there's a lot of other stuff that's going into this process than just giving out the plays, right? You start to notice time and again, what we talk about. What's the sweet spot of plays? What's that price type? Where are the spots to avoid? Where are the traps? Who's just hot and you keep riding with them? So lots of learning going on in this as well here. KV's in the house. What's up, Kelly? Good to see you. She says Jets -1 in regulation. Under 6, Detroit and Boston. Kelly, when you say Jets -1 in regulation, does that mean they have to win by -1 in regulation? Like if they go to overtime, does that lose? Is that what that means? I'm curious. About that because I don't know if that means it's bringing the juice down. I'm just curious how that all incorporates, or is it just I don't know. Curious what you think about that. Detroit, Boston, under 6. Okay. Calgary, minus 130. Also 2 goals each in regulation, with Calgary winning regulation, plus 250. Big tribute to Johnny Gaudreau. Bro. Absolutely. Biggest little state in the union, Nasty Nate. Biggest little state in the union. All right. So we got that under. And then let's go to that game that keep wanting to change the graphic. This is the best graphic I got for you guys today. It is what it is. We are where we are. Let's do what we do, and let's fight through. As we roll on to this Columbus and Calgary game, it is the first game that the Columbus Blue Jackets will be in Calgary since the passing of the Gaudreau brothers, and one of the most fucking horrific things I've ever heard. Any loss is unfortunate, but unfortunate and then some. Jesus. Feel horrible for the family. I'm curious how that wedding went down. I mean, there's a lot of questions I have about that. But the Columbus Blue Jackets will bring out Elvis Merzlikins. And why is that important? Because Johnny Gaudreau did play for Calgary before he wanted out of town. He wanted to come to Philadelphia. They couldn't make the salary cap work, so he ended up in Columbus. And Columbus has just battled adversity in the goaltending issues the year prior with the crazy fireworks incident. Merzlikins is back, though, 8-5-2 on the season, 3.07 goals against average, and an 89.4% save percentage. And they got Danny Vlada, Darth Vader, going out there, 4-5-3, 3.1 goals against average, and a 90% save percentage. Win-loss records aside, these two goalies are pretty even. And they're going to go back to Merzlikins. Merzlikins kind of sat out for a while, so they gave him plenty of time to sit. And despite it being his 7th consecutive start, he's still fresh. You know, this number that you see with the 8-5-2, 7 games in a row. The guy's been firing, and they're going to roll back to him. Why not? Keep it rolling out there. Calgary Flames on a 4-game losing streak. How about that? 0-3-1 in their last 4. Poor goaltending is probably the biggest reason behind it. This is where they go back to that over where I talked about this with the Penguins game. They scored 6 goals. It was a 6-2 victory for the Penguins over the Flames the last time they played. Crazy. 86% saving for that Calgary Flames team out there. And I'm not going to go to the total in this game. I am going to take a side, but I'm going to break it down a little bit here. The Flames come in home favorites. Obviously, that's a questionable spot when you look at this Columbus tag. Are they big enough favorites? Does the number make sense? Kind of does on the surface here. A minus 130 for Calgary. This line's starting to come down a little bit, though. Definitely a red flag. The way I opted to attack this one is kind of like the way we attacked that Toronto game the other day. I'm going to look at the first period. I'm going to take the Blue Jackets in the first period. The number I got for the Blue Jackets in the first period is plus 107. And I'll take a look around, see if we can find some better numbers for this one here. Let's see. First period. No, plus 107s, 106s, 105s, 102s, even money. So this number is kind of steeped out at the plus 107. And here's the thing about it. When you look at these two teams, so the Gaudreau factor coming back into town, I think is a big deal. I think they got to have some, I don't know this officially, but I got to envision there's some kind of something going on to tribute the Gaudreau brothers as they get into this game. But it's an opportunity to take advantage of these two guys here. Look, Columbus Blue Jackets, 6-2-2 in their last 10 first periods. 6-2-2, winning. We just talked about the Calgary Flames coming in cold, struggling to stop pucks, struggling to get games going, and they're 2-3-5 in their first periods, in their last 10 first periods. 2-3-5 Calgary, 6-2-2 Columbus. Vladar, we just talked about him, kind of beach ballish type stats out there. And we're catching a plus 107 number with Merzlikins, who's been playing pretty strong. I expect a slow start. And I talk about the Gaudreau potential memorial because if you put this Calgary Flames team on ice at home, slow things down even more, it's going to be an emotional start. I think Columbus can come out hot in this game. I think they probably blow the game at the end, but I'm not fully bought into this Calgary Flames team, especially with the number moving against them right now. So that's kind of the way I look at it. That's the way I'm envisioning this out there. The RH32 says whiteboard session. There you go. Trying to give you guys a little something, Smoke and Mirror says fireworks. Did someone say fireworks? I like fireworks. We have fireworks in pre-gaming. That fireworks was a special event for that Bills game on the impromptu live stream there on Sunday night. So, all right, let's go. Let's keep it moving. That's going to be a first period 107 for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Again, you can find all my action at BetStamp at Mikey Money. And we'll go NBA. I can't believe I'm doing this one to pop it off here. Now, we'll start looking at the lines and angles. We'll look at the cash flow splits a little more handily when it comes to the NBA, more so than kind of some reference points in the NHL. But when it comes to the NBA, we definitely want to be dialed in here. And we see that, dialed in indeed. 83% of the bets and 79% of the cash coming in on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This line has moved. It went from 15.5 to 16s to 16.5. Then we got totals with reverse movement. We have 66% of the bets and 67% of the cash on the over. Yet it opened at 236.5 and it's dropped down to 234.5. So what's going on with this game? We know it's the NBA Cup. I'll try to keep these things somewhat brief for you guys here as we roll into this thing. And what do we know about the NBA Cup? I'm not an expert in the NBA Cup, but I know Cleveland's out, which is crazy because they got the best record in the NBA at 18-3. They just took down them Celtics, and yet they're out of the NBA Cup. Then you look at who's playing. Well, Strus is out. Ty Jerome's going to be out. On the Washington Wizards side, Sadiq Bey continues to be hurt. Kuzma's going to be out of this game. So what are we looking at overall here? Well, what we're looking at is, frankly, a Cavaliers team that just played the Celtics, just gave it their all, and just came up with a big W, 115-111. They're playing a Wizards team. 14 straight losses. This one kind of made my head explode. And I'll tell you why. On the surface, you know my deal. When I see 14 straight of anything, I want to get going on the other side of it. To me, it just makes a lot of sense. What's going on here with this number being as high as it is? But the big spot that I looked at when it came down to this one here was, I got to take a shot with it. I got to get involved with the 16.5 because the Cavs are situationally coming off of that game, having just took down, the Boston Celtics, rolling into this thing. Now I'm trying to find my number here. Hang on. I got to open this other tab up. Sorry, guys. Phew. Excuse me. There goes a 50. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I told that story before. That's a live stream story. I shouldn't be using that on pre-gaming here, but I can't find the number now. Let's see here. Bear with me, guys. Hang on. We'll get there. Everything died. Everything's got to get set up. Everything's got to refresh, and it never works out in time for the show. Add to that, a buddy calls me literally 5 minutes before the show starts. I'm like, dude, I got to go. I can't make any of my technology work. Everything just reset. And you're calling me? What are we doing out here? Early season dogs. Nice little 7-3 run out there. I think this number is just too wide. Shout out to our guy Subhuman Gaucho out here. There's a big system that we've been tracking for the Wizards this year. And, when they start falling outside of some of these numbers, it really comes down to the total and their ability to drive points. I think the challenge that we're going to find with Cleveland in this game is they just don't give a shit. And you're playing the team that's lost 14 in a row. I want in. I want to jump all over this spot. And I'm going to do it. I took the 16.5 with the Washington Wizards. I expect them to get busted up. But 14 straight losses. It's hard to lose that many times in a row. We talk about the 10 as the magic number. So give it to me. That's the way we're going to pop this first game off. We're going to take this Washington Wizards at 16.5 points. We'll move on. What do we got? Orlando and the Knicks, game number 2. As we look at this one here, big deal for this one. Again, I'm not an NBA Cup expert, but I did a little bit of light reading today, and I found that, well, guess what? The Magic are one of the best fucking teams in the NBA in this Cup thing right now. It's point differential that does drive seeding. And if they win, they lock up the East, which means that they'll have, home court for the wild card. 6.5 was where this total the spread started. It's moved to 4.5. 59% of the bets and 57% of the cash have come in on the Orlando Magic. And then we look at the total. It's gone from 219.5 down to 214.5. So you got 5 full points of movement. 87% of the bets and 83% of the cash coming in on that over. And again, reverse line movement. Crazy. So essentially, yeah. Madison Square Garden, big show up, winning they're in. And they're 8-0 against the spread, the Magic, when they allowed less than 42% shooting the last game. So what the hell does that mean? Well, when they get hands and faces, they push people off their marks, they start playing and getting some continuity, everybody starts playing their role, and that translates over to having a difficult time for other teams the following game to cover. I mentioned their point differential out there, 60 points. Now, do they need to win to be in? Yeah. Can they just play strong enough and cover the spread? Sure. That's what matters for us here. We're taking the 4.5. I see minus 105s out there. I think you get up and you get ready for a Madison Square Garden situation. Magic are looking good this year. Overall, you look at some of their recent performances and who's been on the board. I just mentioned that 8-0 trend. That kind of carries over because they have been kicking the shit out of everybody. They beat Detroit 111-100. They win against Charlotte 95-84. They play Chicago. They down them 133-119, and then back-to-back spots at Brooklyn. Here's the thing about that. This is the third game in the New York area with maybe 20 minutes, depending on traffic, to walk between the stadiums. And they won both those games, 123-109 and 100-92. They've been covering spreads. They're on a tear. We got reverse line movement. We got all the things that are in place for us to take a whack at this Orlando team. They've actually won 6 in a row, and they're a good road team. They've won 6 games on the road. So, yeah, the Knicks have won 6 games at home, but I love the fact that the Magic are fired up. They want to go out there and battle for this NBA Cup. I think they'll get it done tonight. So we'll take the 4.5. Take the minus 105. What did I get for bet stamp? What did my bet stamp number look like? Let's see. The Wizards were 16.5 at minus 110. And 4.5 at minus 101. And it's still in the range. It's still in the realm. So right now you can get some 4.5s at minus 105s, minus 108s, minus 109s, minus 110s, and minus 112. So we're still in the range. It's still moving in that right direction. After they bring those numbers down, you start to see that even money or even some plus 102s. But the fact that it's transitioning back is exactly where we want to do, where we want to see. And really, from the talking heads, the only thing I can hear is, the Magic are due to get beat up. You don't want to play a do spot. You want to play a spot that you feel confident about. Speaking of confident about it, how about this one? This is another similar win in their in situation. We look at the Spurs and the Suns. And when I saw the Spurs and Suns, it made me initially think Sun, like the WNBA, because they have not been playing with any authority. Even though they bring back Kevin Durant, they got Booker and Beal rolling again as well. Minus 6.5 have moved to 7.5. So we got a point of movement. And we have 59% of the bets and 59% of the cash on the Spurs. The total's coming up as well. This is because point differential matters for these tournaments. 226.5 has moved to 229s and now 230s. So the over's creeping and the cash is coming in on it. You got 74% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the over. Recent performances, probably look, Wembanyama's been playing pretty fantastic and load sharing across the board. The Suns are win one, lose one. They just won against Golden State. Here they go. They got the sleepy little Spurs spot, but don't sleep on the Spurs. 4-1 in their last 5 as well. I looked at this one overall. How about this? 10-0 against the spread after they give up more than 113 points and less than 50% shooting. In a fast-paced game, They keep rolling that following game. You got 7.5 points with the Spurs, 10-0 against the spread. But how about this for some correlation? The Kings. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong spot. Sorry. Forget that. Scratch that. I can tell you about that Kings number if you want to hear it. But the Spurs 10-0 in that spot where the game was moving at a quick pace. And they're not afraid to shoot. 101 shots. You know what that says to me? Just go out there and shoot. We shoot a lot. If we have a lot of possessions and shoot a lot, even if we're not shooting quality, we're going to win games. And that's the mode that the Spurs are in right now with that 10-0 trend in our back pocket. We'll take the Spurs. We'll take the 7.5. Probably, of all of them, live dog alert because they do need this win for what I can tell is the NBA Cup here. I haven't seen some of the official numbers on this thing here, but I think you got to look at this thing. I think you also got to probably look at the over. The fact that this team's thinking shoot the ball from anywhere doesn't matter. Let's just shoot it a lot. We saw evidence in a 127, 125 game the other day. Why not? Why not take a look at some points on this thing? No one differential matters. I expect that Beal's back, but the thing is, Nurkic out of this game. It's going to be tough. I think Tyus Jones, Beal, Booker, Durant, O'Neal are going to have to roll. But you're not getting a fully healthy Suns team who's been playing win one, lose one anyways. We'll take advantage of it. We'll ride with that 10-0 trend, and we'll take the San Antonio Spurs. Getting the 7.5? Hell yeah, let's go. All right, let's move quickly here. We've got, 2 games left for you guys, college hoops, and this first one's going to pop off here in just a little bit. We're going Dartmouth and New Hampshire. You guys love these games. I know you do. Speaking of the nerds here, a little Dartmouth action. Holy bad is New Hampshire, 2-9 on this fucking season. Just because you're playing games, boys, doesn't mean it's helping. You're 2-9. The only games they're playing is get those checks for getting beat the shit out of, and then let's go out there and see if we can build something through NIL for next year. That's the status that I believe New Hampshire's in for this game here. And my goodness, overall looks for this game. There's a lot of college basketball that I like tonight, but I try to win this thing down here because we've got. What did we talk about yesterday? We got to get a lot of these boxes to check so that we can keep this kind of high degree of winning in place here. And Dartmouth does check a lot of these boxes right now. The sharp specialist. I talked about this the other day. There was I talked about this with college football. I think it was Guns and I that were on that Texas Tech side of things, and he was saying, no, the sharp money's coming. No. There's some sharp steam reports that come in late. We pay for access to information. We get tools and technology to make informed betting decisions. That's the difference here. We're a mathematically based capping site. We want to be able to adjust levers, not arbitrarily think this guy's due or that guy's not. Even though sometimes that does kind of creep into it's an art and a science. We lean heavier to the science and using the data and the numbers to help drive these decisions like we hear about with these trends. Public betting coming in. Where I'm going with this one here is the Sharp report got lit up this afternoon. You got 68% of the bets and 78% of the cash coming in on New Hampshire. That was early money. This is the head faker of the day. This line moved from Dartmouth -3s up to 3.5s for Dartmouth against this New Hampshire team. Dartmouth sitting at 3-3 on their season. And, what do you want to say about New Hampshire? They're 2-9. They keep losing. Dartmouth just got a big win. A road win as well, by the way. Taking down Boston College. Big school for them to go out there and handle 88-83. Outright winner is 16.5-point dogs. No wonder the sharp money's coming in on these guys now. And it makes sense to me. I can buy down on this thing. I can fully see it. In fact, how about this one? Favorites in college basketball off a win as a double-digit dog if they committed less than 13 turnovers. Come back firing, 38-19. So they were big win off that Boston College team. They were 16.5-point dogs. They played a sound game to win that game. That's why they committed less than 13 turnovers. Now they're in a 2-1. That's a 66% winning edge for the favorites in a follow-up spot to bust up on a 2-9 New Hampshire team? Okay, check. And we got that reverse line movement moving in the right direction for us. So we're going to take advantage here. We're going to take Dartmouth. Let me see what number I got. I don't know if I got 3. Let me see. Going over to BetStamp. Yeah, 3. I got 3 at -111. 3 at minus 111 for Dartmouth. There are a couple 2.5s out there. So full disclosure, there has been a little bit of buyback coming in on this New Hampshire side of things. It doesn't change my opinion one way or the other here. I think that's trend is strong, and it makes a lot of sense to me that they played good ball. They're feeling good, and they're going to go over to a pincushion in New Hampshire. What the fuck's New Hampshire playing for? Yeah, they're back home. They had 4 of their last 5 on the road, but man, you lose to Fordham by 20 points, you're in trouble, man. And that was 20 points against Fordham, 83-61. They were getting 15.5. Doesn't matter what the index is. New Hampshire is a tough spot to have out there covering any type of football or any type of basketball. And I'll take it. I'll take a run with that 66% trend in our direction. And then last but not least is this late night special for us, guys. Late night opportunity to take a crack. Kentucky and Clemson. Why the big games? Because we've been finding some potential isolated size matchup advantages. And that's what we have here again tonight. Here with Kentucky and Clemson. Now, the line has been coming in. A lot of people like this home dog, and I get it. The ranked road team coming in, small favorite or even a dog, has been a spot that we have faith. We got a 7-1 Clemson team. We got a 7-0 Kentucky team. Should be a battle. This line opened at 2. It's moved down to 1.5, but it started to come back. After the show started from 1.5, it's come back to 2s. 32% of the bets, but 66% of the cash are coming in on Kentucky. What does that tell us? We know this, right? The public is loving Clemson right now. They're the home dog. It's a big game for Clemson. Why not? 68% of the bets coming in, but 66% of the cash coming in on Kentucky. That late money coming in scared the books. They moved them back to some 2s. And the total's been getting pounded. They're expecting points. 155.5 moved to 158. 67% of the bets, 91% of the cash sitting there on this over, and it's moving in that direction. And, I looked at this game here, and I mean, it's a big game for both these teams. There's no doubt about it, but I don't know how Clemson's going to keep up. Kentucky does all the right things. They lead the nation in points. They average 95.3 a game. They are second in the nation in rebounds at 47.7 per game. And they've got some monsters that are double-double guys up and down the court. Kobe Bryant. Oh, man. It's going to be an interesting little dynamic duo that those boys have. On the other side, their defense. 24.9% limiting teams to the three-point shooting. Some of the best in the nation. Clemson. What can Clemson do for you? Well, they're going to have a tough time matching up the size is what I think it comes down to here. Kentucky's got the offensive strength. They play that solid defensive rebounding. You shoot points, you get rebounds, you get defensive rebounds. You limit teams out there because you play hard in the paint, and that's why Kentucky's going to win this game. So I took Kentucky on the money line. I don't care that the line's moving down. I don't care what's going on with, right now we're seeing overall spots minus 118s, minus 120s, minus 125s, and minus 130s. Again, that late minute movement is creeping back up. Clemson's defense going to be a test. Now they're home, so that's a big advantage, but they're 30th in points allowed per game at 63. If Kentucky gets hot at any given point and throws up a stretch of a 10, this game's over. It's going to get ugly fast. And then that might even be some opportunity for a backdoor cover with Clemson, but I think this is more than enough for us to get the bucket again. The balance and the routine that this Kentucky team has. You win games by shooting a lot, scoring a lot, and limiting second chances from your opponent's teams out there. We'll take Kentucky. We'll shut her down with a little Kentucky action against Clemson. Shout out to Fernando Mendoza. Blessing our action tonight to close the show up with the 1999 Dono, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate you rocking with us, being a member of the community. Right in my own backyard, as it turns out, too. So we do got to get together one of these days, my friend. I appreciate you rocking with us here, blessing our action, supporting our evening, you guys. What a great way to close up the show tonight. I appreciate everybody rocking with us. If you haven't done so already, make sure you do hit that thumbs up button. I want to shout out Fernando Mendoza for the 1999 Dono. We are listener supported. And all of those contributions do help us continue to grow and build this thing. We're nowhere near where we want to be. We got some exciting things that are about a week away from coming down the pike, and even more So Fernando Mendoza, it's you and the crew like you that believe in what we're doing here, that bring positive vibes, that are staples to our community. And appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Shout out to Two Tones becoming a new member today. Appreciate all you guys. And we'll be back tomorrow ready to do it again here. Hopefully we'll have the graphics back in play. Slackers over at Canva, but you guys aren't slackers. Good luck with your action tonight. Get that cash and get back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Ramon Scott with the morning steam. Then you'll find me back here again at 6 p.m. with Pregaming. Let's have a big night. Let's keep building. And we'll see you guys real soon. Thank you guys all for your time. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making big shoes and bet simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with buying cam. The show starts with capping and ends with pimp slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happens. This pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel meeting Cain, a bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck like Kiki said. We ain't playing, we ain't game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back and I'm joined with my guy. Oh, we got a fight. We got a fight. They're fighting.